Good morning, Melbourne. Welcome to the Monash Breakfast Club with Sagar Gulgule. Today, we are going to talk about Microsoft, which is a billion-dollar industry and a company founded by Bill Gates. To get an overview of the company, let's watch a small video.
Started on April 4, 1975 by Bill Gates and Paul Allen, Microsoft Corporation is an American multinational technology company with headquarters in Redmond, Washington. It develops, manufactures, licenses, supports and sells computer software, consumer electronics, personal computers and related services. It is best known for software products like Microsoft Windows, line of operating systems, the Microsoft Office and the Internet Explorer. The word of Microsoft is portmanteau of Microsoft Computer and Software. Microsoft is ranked number 30 in the 2018 Fortune 500 rankings. In 2016, they acquired LinkedIn, and in 2011, they acquired Scribe Technologies for $8.5 billion and $26.2 billion respectively. In the year 2000, Steve Ballmer replaced Bill Gates as CEO and later envisioned a devices and services strategy. In 2014, Satya Nadella took over as the CEO. The company then scaled back on hardware and instead focused on cloud computing, a move that helped the company's shares reach its highest value since December 1999. In 2018, Microsoft surpassed Apple as the most valuable publicly traded company in the world.
The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we are having some of them today to build this event. With this note, I would like to give my heartiest welcome to our guest, Microsoft founder Mr. Bill Gates, and the current CEO, Mr. Satya Nadella. We would like to welcome Shambhavee, who is an industry expert who will be sharing some light on leadership styles under Steve Ballmer and Satya Nadella.
Microsoft, a name everyone knows. While people applaud the billion-dollar company, an infamous leadership style shook the company to its core. Understanding the transition from Bill Gates to Steve Ballmer and to now CEO Satya Nadella. Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer, a thunderous leader who presided over a deadly quiet decade of the tech giant. He was an operation-based executive who expanded the reach, the revenue, and the profitability of its core products like Office and server products, which came at the expansive of the futuristic view where it lost to its competitors like the search engine and the cloud-based Office software to Google, tablet computers and portable music players to Apple, car software to Tesla, and various other applications to various other companies. The irony is that Microsoft was the first one to come up with the ideas and the inventions but failed to capitalize it. His intense competitiveness created a culture that undermined innovation. Under Ballmer, Microsoft has been experiencing a sustained competitive advantage.
Thank you, Shambhavi. Wow, that's certainly a direction to look at. Now we would like to talk to Mr. Bill Gates. What are your views on the strategic management process of Microsoft under then CEO Steve Ballmer?
Thanks, Sagar. I would definitely talk about that, but first I'm very disappointed and I'll point out that why aren't you guys using Microsoft laptops over here? Really
but we're certainly using your software.
Well, that's a good point.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on. Talking about Ballmer's approach, the first thing I'll talk about is the top-down approach that he used. Top-down approach is where management controls most of the organization and they take authoritative position in the organization. So what we saw there was less of encouragement for employees to go out of the box and think about innovative products for Microsoft, right, which was a bit of setback for us because in non-stable markets like where Microsoft operated, it was a big disappointment because that approach can't be used there, and we needed to be more innovative and move away from being stable and delegate more responsibility to the lower level instead of just focusing more on management and be more precise and be more alert in taking decisions that the lower levels are innovating and new things that they are inventing.
Thank you, Mr. Bay.
Mr. Bill Gates, can you tell me the strengths and weakness of the top-down approach and also a plausible solution to tackle this?
Sure, Shambhavi. With the top-down approach, main strengths are that we can take a decision in a form and there's no wayward thinking in that. There's a proper format to decision taking. It saves money and time because there's a proper process that we can again and again follow. But on the other hand, there are definitely weaknesses like lack of innovation, which we clearly saw in the case. there's like less of involvement with the lower management, and which again leads to lower innovation. Like the ideas from lower management can be very crucial for an organization because they work with the product as much as we do, and some decisions can be impractical. And the solution, it should be a combination of both the things, which we need to just in and look forward.
So basically, a combination of top-down and bottom-up approach is what is recommended.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Gates, even though Microsoft invented some promising computing breakthroughs and often before competitors, why did they fail to successfully commercialize them?
Yeah, definitely there were brilliant ideas during that period that Steve Ballmer would have come across and did come across, but the main issue was that we were looking to expand our product, but those products were just expanded in our core categories, which is the Windows suites and stuff. And this meant that we grew more into business to business field rather than going customer oriented with smartphones and stuff like that.
Okay.
So our growth was morely into business to business field, which is our core thing. And also one more thing, that we lacked a bit of product vision. So for example, when Google Docs came out, we had a chance to create Microsoft Docs as well. But because we didn't have the vision to see where that Google Docs would go and it could be a possibly revenue source later on, we just thought it would just cannibalize our original Microsoft suites sales. So that's where we lacked to commercialize product after, even though we had brilliant ideas for that.
Mr. Nadella, can you tell me why do CEOs of such large companies, including yourself at Microsoft, balance the exploitation and the explorative strategy?
So basically, like both the two strategies have got different viewpoints. So in the exploitation strategy, what managers try to do is exploit what the resources they have at the present moment. So it's their current knowledge to improve and to generate more cash. Whereas in the exploration strategy, they like to innovate. They like to try new products. They like to test new products, create new prototypes. In terms of exploitation strategy, there is like increase in core competency. So like we guys, if we are talking about our core competency, that is around the Microsoft suite. Whereas if we want to innovate, we'll have to reduce our core competency and innovate in some products that we are not actually right now. Right. Exploitation category has got like no negative investments because we are carrying out processes which are related to our products, which we are actually doing. Whereas if we go on an innovation cycle, we'll have to invest more. So we learn more, fail more, and then we learn back more.
So a lot of risk.
A lot of risk. So more the risk, more the revenue. That's like the quota that we follow.
Absolutely.
Due to large number of resources, we can actually carry out exploitation strategies. So for example, if a company is doing good, so it doesn't need to innovate much in the short term.
Right.
But when you're talking about the long term, you can't just depend on your cash cows, which are right now. So the far-fetched CEOs, they think about how they can make money through their product right now and how they can balance out with innovating new products so they can make money in the future. So in the gist of it, we can say that exploitation strategy is like cash growth for the present moment.
Okay.
Whereas exploration strategy is like finding new winning products for the future.
Okay.
So I think that explains the gist of what both of them are.
So what would you recommend? Which style to use?
To be very frank, you can't just go with any one strategy. If you go just with exploitation, if you go with exploration, too much investment, too much risk. So you'll have to, balance it out between exploitation and exploration, what we are planning to do and with what we are currently doing, which deems to be in our success.
Understanding the trade-offs, can you tell us how do we manage these trade-offs between exploitation and exploration strategies?
So yeah, as a CEO, it's very important to have an ambidextrous approach to which strategy you are following. And you can't just go with any one strategy. So you have to maintain equilibrium between both exploitation and exploratory strategies.
Right.
Both of them are like management and employee issues. So it's very important that when you're forming a team, you have a good mixture of old and young guys, because it's very quite obvious that young guys are more innovative and they like to explore more things, whereas the old managers, they like to go with the process. So they are process oriented. So if they're given a task, they like to follow the process, whereas young managers, they like to play around with the process and end up with results that might help the company, because that would prove to have some new innovations in it. So also when you are assigning goals or assigning assignments or assigning any process to somebody, it's very important to set the goals but not tell them the process that they need to follow.
Right.
When you're not telling them the process, it's helping them to take, innovate, change their mind, and do something that you're not being taught of. That happens in the structure as well. When you're forming departments, it's very important to have a mixture of innovation, strategies, structure, and an individual's team as well. Because if you have like same people doing a job, they would mess it up. So it's very important to maintain the heterogeneity in the team.
Cool. Since you take over as the CEO, what have your go-to initiatives been for Microsoft?
So it's very important to change the core ethics of the team. So we were into product oriented, while now we shifted into the service centric environment. We launched service tablets and HoloLens, so we proved to the market that we are still an innovator in the hardware industry. We encourage our employees and we empower them by giving them the right to innovate. So we have got some competitions running throughout the year where they can just innovate and come up with a new idea, and then we fund them.
Okay.
And they are allowed to do something out of the box, although that's not part of their job. So we like to implement those strategies so that people come up with new ideas, because that's what we want. We believe in the concept of empathy. So we want to keep ourselves in the shoes of the customer. So what does the customer want from us? So it's very important to know what the customer wants rather than just putting products into them so that they like. So it's very important to know what they want. We engage with customers, we empowering our employees to develop more, and that's how we are transforming our product and services through digital transformation.
Right.
So, Mr. Nadella, can you tell me what's next for Microsoft?
So now we are focusing on a new strategy, which is mobile first, cloud first.
Okay.
So in this era of development, it's very important that you have everything on the cloud so that people can access all your softwares and applications via internet through the cloud. Through the cloud, it allows that all our applications are available to the customer directly. We also want to see how our customers are using our technology, and we carry it forward by doing proper market research and want to know what people want from us. We also have a desire to keep learning and make a difference. Because if we don't learn from what customers are expecting, we won't be able to innovate further.
Thank you.
Mr. Bill, looking at the graph over here, can you tell us whose reign has been more impactful?
Well, it would be very harsh of me to judge between both of them, because Steve in his reign was exceptional and he did loads of work for Microsoft. It was like brilliant, and as you can see, he was at the top when he was working, and it is a bit harsh on him people go because the time he worked was like the financial crisis as well. Most of the companies were dropping, and it was that time that he didn't let it drop so much, but he maintained it, and then Nadella has been doing a brilliant job since he has taken over. So
Yeah.
it's good signs for Microsoft.
That's excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Nadella, and thank you, Mr. Gates, for being a part of the show and sharing your insights.
The pleasure is all ours.
Thank you, Sagar.
Thanks, Shambhavee.
Thank you.
Tell us how Microsoft is doing at the present, and if you were in Satya Nadella's shoes, what would you have done?
Okay, I think Microsoft is performing tremendously under Nadella's tenure, but there is room for immense growth because we have observed a decline in the recent years. So I think a balance between innovation and an existing revenue model is needed. A complete transformation of Microsoft's culture, which would increase and give more recognition and rewards to the lower management by engaging employees through inclusion and diversity programs, which would actually directly impact the innovative
Right.
thinking of the employees, and encourage more initiatives like hackathon and creative project initiatives would truly benefit them. Focus on the fail first, learn fast concept.